Question 1. Scenario. Your SOC wants Sentinel Analytics rules to automatically exclude sign-in attempts from a list of 50 known corporate VPN exit node IP addresses that changes periodically, without hardcoding the IPs into every KQL query. The question is, what should you create to maintain this list centrally and reference it easily across multiple analytics and hunting queries? Your options are: Option A, a new custom log table for the IP list. Option B, a Microsoft Sentinel watchlist. Option C, a threat intelligence indicator for each IP. Option D, a defender for endpoint device group. Take a moment to think about your answer. The correct answer is B, a Microsoft Sentinel watchlist. Why B is correct? Watchlists let you upload and maintain a reusable list of values, like known VPN IPs, that can be referenced with a simple lookup in any KQL query, and updated centrally without editing every rule that uses it. Why A is wrong? Creating a full custom log table adds unnecessary ingestion overhead and complexity for a simple static reference list. Why C is wrong? Creating 50 individual threat intelligence indicators is meant for malicious IOCs, not benign known good IP exclusions, and is far less efficient to maintain. Why D is wrong? Device groups are a defender for endpoint construct for managing devices and automation levels, unrelated to Sentinel KQL IP lookups. Question 2. Scenario. An analyst needs to write a KQL query that checks whether a sign-in IP address from sign-in logs belongs to a set of known malicious IPs maintained in a watchlist named maliciousIPs. The question is, which KQL function should the analyst use to reference the watchlist in the query? Your options are: Option A, _get watchlist, maliciousIPs. Option B, external data. Option C, union with source. Option D, bag_unpack. Take a moment to think about your answer. The correct answer is A, _get watchlist, maliciousIPs. Why A is correct? The _get watchlist function is the built-in KQL method for referencing a Sentinel watchlist by name, returning its rows so they can be joined or filtered against in the same query. Why B is wrong? External data retrieves data from external storage blobs by URI. It is not the mechanism used for referencing a Sentinel watchlist. Why C is wrong? Union with source combines multiple tables while tracking source table names. It does not reference watchlist data. Why D is wrong? Bag_unpack expands dynamic property bags into columns. It has no role in retrieving watchlist content. Question 3. Scenario. You have a new Microsoft Sentinel workspace with the Azure Activity and Microsoft Entra ID connectors configured. Leadership wants to identify which accounts have the most alerts and see corresponding incident information for each, while minimizing administrative effort. The question is, what should you do first? Your options are: Option A, enable user and entity behavior analytics, UEBA. Option B, create a new custom log table. Option C, manually export all alerts to Excel and pivot by account. Option D, disable the Entra ID connector to reduce noise. Take a moment to think about your answer. The correct answer is A, enable user and entity behavior analytics, UEBA. Why A is correct? Enabling UEBA builds behavioral baselines and investigation priority scores per entity, and surfaces an entity behavior page that aggregates alerts and incidents per account automatically, achieving the goal with minimal manual effort. Why B is wrong? Creating a custom log table adds ingestion complexity and does not provide entity-centric alert aggregation on its own. Why C is wrong? Manual export and pivoting in Excel is high administrative effort, directly opposing the stated requirement. Why D is wrong? Disabling the Entra ID connector would remove the sign-in data needed to correlate account-based alerts entirely. Question 4. Scenario: your Sentinel Workspace UEBA has been enabled for several weeks. An analyst wants to quickly see a specific user's peer group, typical sign-in locations, and an investigation priority score before deciding whether to escalate a related alert. The question is, where should the analyst look? Your options are: Option A, the MITRE ATT and CK workbook. Option B, the Data Connector Health page. Option C, the Entity Behavior page for that user in Microsoft Sentinel. Option D, the Threat Intelligence Indicator list. Take a moment to think about your answer. The correct answer is C, the Entity Behavior page for that user in Microsoft Sentinel. Why C is correct? The Entity Behavior page, enabled by UEBA, provides a per-entity profile including peer group comparison, typical activity patterns, and an investigation priority score, directly supporting rapid escalation decisions. Why A is wrong? The MITRE workbook shows analytics rule to technique coverage, not individual entity behavioral profiles. Why B is wrong? The Data Connector Health page monitors ingestion pipeline status, unrelated to per-user behavioral analytics. Why D is wrong? The Threat Intelligence Indicator list contains IOC records, not user behavior baselines or investigation priority scores. Question 5. Scenario: your Defender for Identity deployment includes several decoy accounts with no real business purpose, configured so that any authentication attempt against them is treated as a near-certain compromise indicator. The question is, what are these decoy accounts called, and what should trigger immediate investigation? Your options are: Option A, service accounts. Any successful login is expected and requires no investigation. Option B, break glass accounts. Only failed logins matter. Option C, action accounts. Used only for automated remediation, not detection. Option D, honey token accounts. Any authentication attempt against them should trigger immediate high-priority investigation. Take a moment to think about your answer. The correct answer is D, honey token accounts. Any authentication attempt against them should trigger immediate high-priority investigation. Why D is correct? Honey token accounts are decoy accounts with no legitimate use. Defender for Identity monitors them specifically because any authentication attempt strongly indicates an attacker is enumerating or attempting to use credentials, warranting immediate investigation. Why A is wrong? Service accounts serve legitimate automated functions and are not decoys. Treating logins as benign misunderstands the honey token concept entirely. Why B is wrong? Break glass accounts are legitimate emergency access accounts, not decoys designed purely for detection. Why C is wrong? Action accounts in Defender for Identity are used by the service itself to perform remediation actions like disabling users, not as detection decoys. Question 6. Scenario: your organization wants to test whether a URL is malicious at the exact moment a user clicks it in an email, even if the URL was determined safe at the time of delivery, and block access if it has since become malicious. The question is, which Defender for Office 365 feature provides this protection? Your options are: Option A, Safe Attachments. Option B, Safe Links Time of Click Protection. Option C, Anti-Malware Policies. Option D, Zero-Hour Auto Purge for attachments only. Take a moment to think about your answer. The correct answer is B, Safe Links Time of Click Protection. Why B is correct? Safe Links rewrites URLs and performs time-of-click verification, rechecking the destination's reputation at the moment the user actually clicks, protecting against URLs that were safe at delivery but later weaponized. Why A is wrong? Safe Attachments protects against malicious file attachments, not URL reputation at click time. Why C is wrong. Anti-malware policies scan for known malware signatures in messages, attachments, not real-time URL click protection. Why D is wrong. Zero-hour auto-purge removes already delivered malicious messages after detection, but does not perform real-time click-time URL verification. Question 7. Scenario. Your organization runs 100 EC2 instances in AWS and wants Microsoft Defender for Cloud to assess their security posture and provide regulatory compliance recommendations, alongside your existing Azure resources. The question is, what should you configure to bring the AWS environment under Defender for Cloud's protection? Your options are: Option A, onboard the AWS account as an environment connector in Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Option B, migrate all EC2 instances to Azure VMs first. Option C, configure a Sentinel automation rule targeting AWS. Option D, enable Defender for Cloud Apps app governance. Take a moment to think about your answer. The correct answer is A, onboard the AWS account as an environment connector in Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Why A is correct. Microsoft Defender for Cloud supports multi-cloud onboarding, allowing you to connect an AWS, or GCP, account, environment directly so its resources are assessed for secure score, recommendations, and regulatory compliance alongside Azure resources. Why B is wrong. Migrating all EC2 instances to Azure is a massive, unnecessary undertaking when native multi-cloud onboarding is supported. Why C is wrong. Automation rules manage Sentinel incident response workflows. They do not onboard cloud environments for security posture assessment. Why D is wrong. App governance in Defender for Cloud Apps manages OAuth application risk in SaaS environments, unrelated to onboarding an AWS account for CSPM. Question 8. Scenario. An analyst wants to write one KQL query that queries DNS event data consistently, regardless of whether the underlying source is a Palo Alto firewall, a Cisco device, or a native Microsoft Sentinel DNS connector, each of which stores data in differently structured tables. The question is, which capability should the analyst use to write a single normalized query across these heterogeneous sources? Your options are: Option A, a custom log table per vendor. Option B, a separate hunting bookmark per source. Option C, the Advanced Security Information Model, ASIM, unifying parser for DNS. Option D, a Defender for Endpoint Device Group. Take a moment to think about your answer. The correct answer is C, the Advanced Security Information Model, ASIM, unifying parser for DNS. Why C is correct. ASIM, Advanced Security Information Model, provides unifying parsers, e.g., for DNS, network sessions, authentication, that normalize data from multiple vendor sources into a common schema, allowing analysts to write one query that works across all of them. Why A is wrong. Creating separate custom log tables per vendor perpetuates schema fragmentation rather than solving the normalization problem. Why B is wrong. Individual hunting bookmarks save specific results. They do not normalize schemas across different data sources. Why D is wrong. Device groups are a Defender for Endpoint construct unrelated to KQL schema normalization across DNS log sources. Question 9. Scenario. You want Microsoft Defender for Endpoint to actively block malicious executables and take remediation action based on cloud-delivered protection and behavioral detections, rather than only observing and logging what would have happened. The question is, what device configuration mode should be enabled? Your options are: Option A, passive mode. Option B, EDR in audit-only mode. Option C, investigation mode. Option D, active mode with antivirus as the primary solution, or EDR in block mode if a third-party AV is primary. Take a moment to think about your answer. The correct answer is D, active mode with antivirus as the primary solution, or EDR in block mode if a third-party AV is primary. Why D is correct? For Defender for Endpoint to actively block and remediate threats, devices should run in active mode with Microsoft Defender Antivirus as the primary AV. Where a third-party AV is primary, EDR in block mode still allows Defender to block malicious artifacts found via EDR even though its antivirus stays passive. Why A is wrong? Passive mode only monitors and reports without actively blocking or remediating threats, which does not meet the stated requirement. Why B is wrong? Audit only, EDR logging observes and reports detections without taking blocking action, again not meeting the active blocking requirement. Why C is wrong? There is no standard Defender for Endpoint configuration mode called investigation mode, governing real-time blocking behavior. Question 10. Scenario. A Microsoft Purview Insider Risk Management policy flags an employee for a sequence of activities, downloading large volumes of sensitive files, renaming them to disguise file types, and then uploading them to a personal cloud storage account shortly before resigning. The question is, what should the analyst do to investigate this insider risk alert appropriately? Your options are: Option A, immediately terminate the employee's network access without any documented review. Option B, review the insider risk case in Purview, examine the sequence of flagged activities and risk score, and involve HR, legal per organizational policy before taking action. Option C, dismiss the alert since renaming files is not inherently malicious. Option D, forward the employee's personal cloud storage credentials request to IT. Take a moment to think about your answer. The correct answer is B, review the insider risk case in Purview, examine the sequence of flagged activities and risk score, and involve HR, legal per organizational policy before taking action. Why B is correct? Insider risk investigations require reviewing the full sequence of flagged activities and risk indicators within the Purview case, and appropriately involving HR and legal per policy, since insider risk cases often have employment and legal implications beyond a typical security incident. Why A is wrong? Taking unilateral termination level action without documented review and HR, legal involvement creates significant legal and procedural risk. Why C is wrong? File renaming to disguise type combined with mass download and external upload is a well-known exfiltration pattern and should not be dismissed. Why D is wrong? There is no legitimate reason to request or forward personal cloud storage credentials. This option does not reflect a valid investigative action. Quiz complete. You have reviewed all questions and their full explanations. Great work. Please like and subscribe my channel for more such contents.